You ain't never seen nothing like this. Hey, hey, hey. I'm about to blow your mind with a twist. Hit the lights, here I go, go, go. Hey, hey, hey. I make the rules, I run the show. Get ready, get ready, get ready for it. Get ready. I'm in my new era. I'm back. I'm better in my new era. I'm back. I'm better in my new era. New era.
Welcome to this episode. We are still at the Copper Mountain RV Resort, just outside of Tacna, Arizona. Hard to believe that we've been here for almost 3 months.
Yeah.
It went by really, really fast. Interesting, we have decided that we really did like this whole Snowbird thing, and we are going to do it again next year, but probably not for the same amount of time.
Not in the same place. We'll do the coming south, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But maybe just 2 months here.
Right.
And spread it out. Spread the joy.
Yeah, after 2 months here, we really started feeling that we were getting itchy feet, that there was so much that we wanted to see that we weren't seeing. As we mentioned in our Snowbird video, there's nothing that's really super close by here. If you want to go off and explore and see the sights, you're looking at least a 1 hour drive.
Well, even the ones close by, you need a side-by-side or you hike.
Right.
And my knees aren't too good on the hikes right now.
So we did 3 day trips, and we thought we would share those locations with you. Again, this was split up over multiple days because, again, quite the drive. The longest was 3.5 hours away from here. The shortest one was 1 hour away. So these are 3 of the day trips that we took. We'll start off with the Imperial Sand Dunes. And these are in California, but it's just a little over an hour away from where we're camping at Copper Mountain in Tacna. The interesting part about this, we noticed on the map that there was a roadside stop that was close by. You can actually see it from the dunes. And we thought that might be a place that we could go and just park our truck while we went to see the dunes, but there's no way to get from that rest stop to the dunes. You've got fence with barbed wire, and then a very busy highway, and then another fence with barbed wire across, and the same thing on the other side of the rest stop. So there is one, you can see it from the map, but you can't really park there. The way to get into it is from an overpass, and there's lots of signs that will tell you how to get there, or just follow your GPS to the
Buttercup
Ranger
Station.
Right.
Yeah, I had called them in November, and the guy says, well, you have to pay a fee. And I said, well, we're just looking. He goes, oh, you're not going to be ATVing? I go, no, we don't own one. And he goes, oh, just park in the ranger station. You don't have to pay. Yeah,
they do have a sign that says that it's 30 minutes parking. We were there on a Sunday, and there was nobody there. We were the only car in the parking lot. And we stayed for not much more than an hour, even though it said 30-minute parking. We really didn't think, well, first of all, the office was closed anyway, so there was nobody there to give us a ticket. But in 30 to 45 minutes to an hour, you can walk out on the dunes and see lots of stuff. It's a very interesting place. In fact, I'm wearing my Star Wars t-shirt today. Because this is a location where part of Return of the Jedi was filmed.
I keep thinking Imperial, the Imperial.
Right, yeah.
Death Star?
Yeah.
But it wasn't right there at Buttercup. These dunes spread across the highway for miles.
Yeah.
It's huge. And with the blowing sun, you'd never find it again anyway.
Right, yeah, that's one of the things they mentioned is that every year the dunes are completely different from the year before because it just continually shifts. The other thing that was fascinating, we were at the ranger station and it showed the area, and it's about 50 miles long, these dunes. But I also noticed there's a couple of areas that said stay out, active live bombing area. And then right below that, it says have fun. I thought, all right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. If you're into the side-by-sides or dune buggies or, those kinds of things, it's a place for it, and lots of place to actually set up your camping, boondocking right there in the area. So this is a little bit of a tour of around the dunes. The next place that we will show you, it requires a little bit of a preamble story here. 2010, I want to say, July of 2010, I was at a leadership conference in Tucson. Now, to build up to this is kind of funny because quite often when I was doing work-related trips, we would either use air miles or we'd just pay for the trip to have Libby come down as well. And she would be able to take a little bit of a holiday while I was in doing my thing at the conference. And in fact, I think I was emceeing that conference.
Yes.
So not just attending things, but also preparing things for the master ceremonies.
And the important part is that SATE booked his flight. And of course, they're not going to give him the $900 direct flight.
Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't. And so
he had a longer travel day than I did, even though whatever plane I was on did not have padding in their seats.
Right. But I ended up having to stop. We're on our way to Tucson, and I was at Dallas-Fort Worth. Right. So I land there, and I'm sitting preparing my notes because I know that I've got this MC thing coming up. So I'm just working on some notes. And the call comes out that says, and we're in pre-boarding now. All military personnel and all people with small children or that need assistance boarding, please come up. Now, we will have a general boarding call coming up in a few minutes. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just wait for the general boarding call. So I'm continuing to work on my notes. And there's something in the back of my mind says, wow, it's a really long time since that general boarding call. There was no call. So I thought, well, I should go over and find out when they're general boarding. So I walk up to the gate and I said, when are you guys calling out for general boarding? And she goes, what are you talking about? The plane's already left. And I said, wait a minute. You did a pre-boarding call, but you never did call for general boarding. She goes, well, but everybody just got on the plane. And I said, well, I didn't get on the plane and I was sitting right there. Oh my gosh, you're right. They never even bothered to check the fact that a passenger didn't show up. They didn't call anybody. They didn't do a general boarding call. So they said, okay, well, we'll get you on the next flight. But that wasn't until
I don't know.
10 o'clock at night.
No,
It was 8 o'clock.
I got in early. There would have been originally just an hour between my flight getting in and his flight getting in. It was hours.
Yeah, it was sometime. So anyway, she ended up renting the car and going off and doing photos in the desert.
Well, first off, in order to go to the desert, I'm sitting around. Then he contacts me and says, I'm not on the flight.
Right.
I don't know when. So I'm hungry. And I'm only allowed to sit in the wait zone for 20 minutes. So I go find a Kruger's and then come back. And he tells me it's going to be such and such time. So I go out into the desert, and I figured out this time. I went out to the Desert Museum, which was quite sparse compared to what it is now, apparently. But I went around taking pictures of plants and enjoying myself and basically killing time. But, I'm in the desert and I've never been in a desert like that. So it was cool.
Yeah. So anyway, I got in late, but while I was at this conference, Libby would spend the days going off and seeing the sights and then come back with her photos. And I would live vicariously through her pictures of the trip. And I had to get right back to work after the conference. So I didn't have any additional time to go and spend a bit of a holiday.
We did one day. We were able to go down to Tombstone.
Oh, to Tombstone. That's right. We did one day and then we got our flights back. Now, here's the thing. One of the places that she went to see is the San Xavier. No, I'll get the whole thing. San Xavier del Bac Mission, which is one of the oldest Spanish missions in the area. And I love the photos that she brought back. But more than that, it was a place that I really wanted to see because we didn't have time to go see it. So one of our day trips while we're here is to drive the almost 4 hours from here to San Xavier to take a look around. And what a fascinating place.
Yeah. And it has changed so much, as you would expect in 14 years.
Right. So we're going to show a few of Libby's photos from 2010, and then we'll show our little stay that we did at San Xavier Mission. So this was day trip number 2. Okay, our third day trip was to Saguaro National Park.
Not Saguaro.
Yeah, I actually went in and asked the guy exactly how do you pronounce this. He goes, you know what? There isn't a single person that works here that didn't have to be taught how to pronounce this. Saguaro National Park. Now, to be fair, we didn't actually pay the $25 to go into the park. A couple of reasons. One, we were being cheap. But more than that, Libby's knee, and I discovered when we got there that I didn't have proper footwear. So I wasn't really going to be able to go and do any serious hiking.
And third, it was like 4:30 and it closes at 5.
Yeah.
And that's how cheap we are.
Yeah.
We're not going to spend that to whiz through.
There's lots of things to see on the outside, but what I will mention is it Deb and Mike?
Yeah.
Their channel. They did a recent visit to Saguaro, and they actually take their viewers out on a hike. So I'm going to link to their video if you would like to see some of the hiking trails. What we did was hang out and look at the plants and the cactuses and things of that nature that are right there in the free parking area.
By the visitor center.
Right. Yeah. So this is our little trip to Saguaro National Park. Okay, give it a big hug. Come on, where's your sense of adventure? Give it a big hug. Okay, I'll see you in a week. Day trips, the dunes, the mission, and the national park to go and see the big saguaro cactuses. Cacti. I'm pretty sure it's cacti, like octopus is octopi.
Yes, yes.
You have a favorite?
Revisiting the mission was interesting because we had Maury, and even though there was no sign, I didn't feel comfortable bringing him into the chapel and the walkthrough of the building. So we walked around and I got lots of pictures of the desert and up close.
Yeah, we could split off. I'd go in and she'd go in. Whoever wasn't in was walking around the outskirts with Maury. For me, favorites, I would have to say, well, first of all, for Saguaro, it's all about those cactuses. And that's the traditional cactus that's got the arms, very traditional cactus. But we saw hundreds of those cactuses on the drive down, just off the highway, fields and fields and
because
fields.
We all know that one space that's the only spot for it. About the cacti, one of my favorite is the pickled pear, because when we were in Tucson, they had a pickled pear vinaigrette.
Oh, yes.
The West Winds resort where we stayed, they created it. The chef created it. And so I keep that pickled pear cactus is my favorite.
Yeah. So the thing about it is, if you're going to go to Saguaro, it really is about going off and doing the hikes. Yeah. Lots of cycling. Lots of cyclists were there the day we were there. So it is a place that you could go spend a full day and go do the hikes and see lots of things.
Yeah.
If you're just going down for the cactus, you can see those cactus all over the place. So for me, it was really a split. If I was trying to pick a favorite between the Mission, which I just loved the history, and the dunes. But the dunes, it just felt like every time you take a step up, you'd go back a half a step. It was just, that sand was amazing. But both of them really worthwhile. So that helped us just get a little bit out of our system of wanting to go off and do some things. And we did. We saw some really interesting areas that are in this area of southern Arizona and southern California.
Yeah. One thing about the dunes is that was what I thought deserts were like.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Lawrence of Olivier and the Rat Patrol and that. So I thought it was all dunes. But so here we are.
Yep. Anyway, that is it for this little episode, the day trips, and hope you enjoyed it. And thanks again for joining us.